better technique because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford wins.
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled.
He win? Can he beat him? Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo.
Experts are weighing in on the highly anticipated Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford matchup. Israel Madrimov feels that if the fight goes the full 12 rounds, Crawford has the advantage thanks to his sharp power, exceptional ring IQ, and ability to adapt in high-pressure moments. Still, Madrimov admits it is a difficult fight to predict, as Canelo's experience and natural size create serious challenges. To him, the bout is truly a 50-50 clash.
Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, what do you think about that fight if they did fight? Looks like it's up for September.
Good fight. You know, if 168 pounds, I think it's Canelo, but it's Canelo better technique because 50-50. If 12 rounds, Crawford wins, I think. If knockout, that's Canelo.
What makes Crawford so difficult to fight against?
He has power, smart, in more practical.
He has more experience. He's very good.
When the possibility of Canelo Alvarez facing Terence Crawford first emerged, many instantly viewed Canelo as the clear favorite. The reasoning was simple. Canelo had long been established at higher weight divisions, while Crawford was only beginning to move up from welterweight. Showbiz The Adult echoed this early perception, describing how lopsided the matchup appeared initially. However, after training camp footage and images of Crawford surfaced, the tone changed. Crawford looked faster, stronger, and well adjusted to his added weight. Rather than being overwhelmed, he appeared sharp and fully capable of carrying his skill into a bigger class. The shift illustrates how quickly opinions in boxing can change when real preparation is revealed.
Grounds to stand on. Now, the other second point that I think is becoming a fact is this. This fight was initially kind of a one-sided credited fight where if Terence Crawford beats Saul Canelo Alvarez, he's on a Mount Rushmore. If Saul Canelo Alvarez beats Crawford, it's kind of like, of course. But now the Bud Buddies has gone across all of social media and attacked social media so impactfully, like a plague, that now it's starting to give more value if Saul Canelo Alvarez wins. And let me tell you what I mean. You cannot tell everybody they're haters and they're stupid for thinking Canelo wins and say, hey, y'all gonna find out come September 13th how great Bud Crawford is. And you speak Crawford up, you know, you say, yeah, you said the same thing about Spence and Crawford and beat all these. You just don't know. You know, you have all these all-time great fighters saying that Crawford wins. So come September 14th, if Saul Canelo Alvarez has beaten Crawford or destroyed him, you can't take it back. You're gonna have to be like, Saul Canelo Alvarez is on Mount Rushmore, right? You can't go this heavy all over social media and which social media controls media. So it's everything. You can't flood social media like this and just wave after wave talk about how Bud is going to whoop Canelo and forget boots and all the preparation, all that stuff. And then if Canelo wins, you don't have the same energy.
Rolando Romero represents those skeptical of Crawford's chances, insisting that weight cannot be ignored. His blunt assessment reflects a long-standing truth in boxing. Weight classes exist to preserve fairness and protect fighters from major size disadvantage. Romero believes that Crawford, no matter how talented, is taking a significant gamble by moving up so drastically. His view is supported by history. where fighters who strayed too far from their natural divisions often paid the price against naturally bigger opponents. In his opinion, Crawford's brilliance at 147 does not guarantee equal success at 168, especially against Canelo, who has ruled the super middleweight division for years.
We got Canelo, we got Terence Crawford. That's going to happen in the fall. It's going to happen here in Sin City, your hometown. How do you feel about that matchup?
Anyone that thinks Crawford has a chance is a complete idiot. They have weight classes for a reason.
Too big? Too skilled?
Way too big, way too skilled. And this isn't a skill matchup. It has nothing to do with skill. It has to.
Bernard Hopkins is not only a respected voice, but also a legend defined by intelligence and longevity. For him to give Crawford an 85% chance is remarkable. Hopkins highlights Crawford's cerebral style, patience, and tactical skills, which he feels could frustrate Canelo. He points out that Crawford's adaptability has been his greatest asset throughout his career. Whether switching stances or adjusting mid-fight, Hopkins argues these tools can neutralize Canelo's counters and pressure. From his own experience, Hopkins knows physical disadvantage can be managed by discipline and strategy. By giving Crawford such high odds, he grants him a psychological advantage, presenting the fight as an opportunity to reshape greatness. David Benavidez, however, views the natural size gap as decisive and predicts Canelo wins.
Can he beat Canelo? Is his skill so much that he's able to bridge the weight classes?
He has a legitimate chance. Over 60% for his mind. If you say, Bernard, give me a number.
Give me a number.
He has an 85+ chance to beat Canelo. Why? He's not going in there to prove something, which will fall into Canelo's hand. He would love for him to prove something. That means you will stay there and try to prove something. But to go in there and to let him know, establish that from the first round, that I belong without showing that I am tough. I earned my position to be here. And I want to show you, even though you're being stubborn, that your time not only have came, but it's gone. He ain't gonna surrender and say I'll slow it up so I'm gonna act like it. No, he has to be shown. And it has to be earned.
Benavidez emphasizes that Canelo has spent nearly his entire career at higher weights and is fully accustomed to strong opposition at 168. Crawford, in contrast, is stepping into uncharted waters. To Benavidez, the difference between a natural super middleweight and a welterweight moving up multiple classes is simply too large. He doesn't frame this as a knock on Crawford's talent, or rather as an acknowledgement of how important comfort and experience are at the elite level. In his view, Canelo's familiarity with the division gives him a built-in advantage Crawford cannot equal.
David Benavidez is choosing Canelo Alvarez to win over Terence Crawford. With that said, David Benavidez has finally given a straight and probably his final prediction for this fight, with him choosing Canelo Alvarez. Now, Benavidez, however, made it perfectly clear that despite him choosing Canelo Alvarez over Terence Crawford, this doesn't necessarily mean that he's actually rooting or backing up Canelo Alvarez. In an interview posted on the Rob's World of Boxing YouTube channel, David Benavidez explained that Terence Crawford, who's pretty much jumping 3 weight divisions in comparison to Canelo, who Benavidez views as a natural super middleweight, will be this fight's biggest deciding factor. Once again, Benavidez clarified that he's not saying that he wants Canelo to win. However, given the circumstances, his prediction is fueled by the weight division argument and not by his emotional or personal views regarding Canelo or Terence Crawford.
David Benavidez is predicting Canelo Alvarez to defeat Terence Crawford. That said, Benavidez has finally given a direct and likely final call, siding with Canelo. Still, he made it clear that his prediction does not mean he is supporting or rooting for Canelo. In an interview on Rob's World of Boxing, Benavidez explained that Crawford is essentially moving up 3 divisions, while Canelo is a natural super middleweight. He believes this difference in weight will be the biggest deciding factor. Once again, Benavidez clarified he is not saying he wants Canelo to win, but rather that the circumstances point in his favor. His prediction is based strictly on size and not on personal preference.
Yo, real quick, just got done. I woke up 3 a.m. I don't know, someone told me to study Canelo, study Crawford. Crawford about to beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez. I'm letting y'all know right now, He about to beat the brakes off of Canelo Alvarez. Yes, he is.
Tim Bradley offers a different view of the fight. He sees Crawford as the more complete technician who can outthink and outmaneuver Canelo. Bradley stresses that Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight has helped him dominate across divisions with little difficulty. He believes that Canelo's slower pace and reliance on timing could be exposed by Crawford's versatility. Bradley is firm in his stance. He insists that Crawford's ring IQ and precision will overpower Canelo. For him, this is not mere speculation, but a prediction grounded in consistent evidence from Crawford's creed. It is dominance through adaptability.
Walk around big any goddamn way.
Right. Yeah. Now, Canelo is the bigger guy, right? But
he ain't the bigger guy.
That's what they say. They say he's wider, he's got more mass. How are you feeling about Bud going in there taking on Canelo's power?
Shit, I don't give a fuck about that power. Well, how you beat power?
Speed.
You said what?
Speed.
And what else?
IQ.
Timing.
That's why you're the coach and I'm not.
I mean, you made some good. I mean, you got some good answers, but that power ain't gonna be able to sustain you throughout the fight. Watch. And he usually slows down between 6 and 7. When you slow down, that's a fucking rat.
Brian Bomac McIntyre, Crawford's longtime trainer, dismisses the weight gap concerns. He argues that although Canelo competes at higher divisions, he is not a particularly large super middleweight compared to others. Bomac describes Canelo as a compact fighter who relies more on strength and technique than pure size. From this perspective, the weight difference between the two is less meaningful than critics claim. His opinion is based on first-hand knowledge of Crawford's conditioning and preparation, having overseen countless sparring sessions. Bomac insists Crawford has the tools to handle Canelo's style. His confidence comes not from arrogance, but from years of guiding Crawford through challenges many thought impossible.
What are your thoughts on Canelo versus Crawford? Highly anticipated fight, quickly approaching.
I know a lot of people are not very excited about that fight, and they think the size difference, huge difference, but Crawford's big, man. Crawford's a very strong fighter. He's a very smart fighter also. So look, the way Canelo's been fighting his last couple of fights, where he's just, looking for one punch at a time and maybe not doing enough to hurt his opponents, maybe not doing enough to finish them off. I can see Crawford pulling it off.
Decision?
I think Crawford could pull off a decision because he's fast, he's smart, and he doesn't need to run. He could stay around Canelo and then just pretty much focus on winning a decision. Because I don't think he could knock out Canelo, but he could definitely win a decision.
Renowned trainer Robert Garcia also backs Crawford, choosing skill over size. He highlights numerous moments in boxing history where superior technique outweighed physical advantages. To Garcia, Crawford embodies the type of fighter who bends the rules of conventional wisdom. He accepts that size plays a role, but stresses that greatness comes from flawless execution. He praises Crawford's patience, timing, and ring control, qualities he believes will be decisive against Canelo. By siding with Crawford, Garcia strengthens the argument that boxing is ultimately a battle of intelligence, as much as dimension.
Just two more questions for you, man. Just would love to get your thoughts on when we got the mega fight, the big fight, Crawford, Canelo. Crawford said forget all that, catch weight and anything like that. He's going straight up to 168. What do you think about that? How much of a chance do you give him? Or who do you favor in that fight?
I got love for both of them. I like both of them. I'm a fan of both of them, but I'm going with Crawford. Typically fighters, they don't want to say who they want to go for because they don't want to be biased. Yeah. And much respect to Canelo, but I'm going Bud.
Is there a particular reason why? Like, you're a guy that's moved up in weight, so you know exactly what it feels like to get hit by these bigger guys. That's something that's gonna play in the back of his head, like,
of course,
gotta watch out.
It is, but it's not. Because at the end of the day, it's not like he just been in there, got in there with somebody bigger than him. He's always probably been sparring with bigger guys. You know what I'm saying? It's that boxing IQ, which William Skull didn't put up no fight, but he showed somewhat of a blueprint to get this guy, in a space where he's confused. Yeah. And he can't touch the target that's in front of him.
You know what I'm saying? And I just think Bud got that IQ.
Is that the same thing that you do in your fights? Because, you know, like you said, your last fight was in 2023. That was your first time moving up. Obviously, you beat the guy pretty easily. But is that something where you just like, I know I can beat this guy, I know I got the skills, but yeah, he's a little bit of a bigger guy than me. I gotta, you know.
Right. You know, because this sport is about, you know, hitting and not getting hit, swimming without getting wet, and taking the least amount of punishment. So, you know, you gotta just, you know, be smart and crafty.
Just last one for you, and I know you said you gotta be smart, crafty, and things like that, but I know you're also like a really prideful guy. Like I know a couple people that know you in Staten Island, and they always tell me, you know, Mark's a cool guy, a real prideful guy, never wants to lose at anything. Right. You pick it. Motherfucker want to win at this.
I hate losing more than I love winning.
Marcus Brown provides insight into Crawford's preparation. He explains that Crawford does not limit sparring to fighters of similar size. Instead, he actively seeks larger opponents, including heavyweights, to sharpen his reflexes and test resilience. Brown argues this practice is the perfect preparation for facing Canelo. It ensures Crawford will not be surprised by heavy shots, but will enter the ring with the confidence of someone who has trained for them. Such work develops both physical toughness and mental composure. Brown believes this is why Crawford's move up in weight will not be as daunting as many expect.
What is his prediction for the fight? So he finally gives it, and it is the following. He said that Terence Crawford's power is real, and he's felt his power is real, but those body shots from Canelo Alvarez are different. And he said he expects Terence Crawford to get knocked out somewhere around the 10th or the 11th round. Doesn't see it going the distance, and as a result, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people think that Errol Spence Jr. is just hating. And I got to tell you, if he was just hating, he would have the right to do it. Why is that? Because that is exactly what Terence Crawford has been doing to him ever since that fight got done. Terence Crawford was asked who his best wins were, and he didn't mention Errol Spence Jr. He mentioned Victor Postol. So I guess, you know, hey man, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So Errol is not holding back his opinion on the fight and says Canelo's gonna knock out Terence Crawford. Now let's look at it for a second and think, is that a realistic prediction? Well, it is. Just like many people picked Terence Crawford to beat Errol Spence Jr. and the entire time that they said that, I was like, yep, he could absolutely get that done. I take Errol in that fight, but I would not be surprised. I'm not writing out that Terence Crawford to win.
Errol Spence Jr. acknowledges Crawford's power, but insists Canelo's body work will determine the outcome. He points out that Canelo's relentless body attacks have broken down some of boxing's toughest fighters, while Crawford has shown knockout power against durable opponents. Spence doubts it will be enough to deter Canelo's steady pressure. He predicts the fight will not go the distance, with Canelo winning through accumulation. Spence's opinion carries weight, as he has shared the ring with Crawford and felt his strength firsthand. Yet even with that knowledge, he trusts in Canelo's proven ability to dismantle elite rivals.
On Bradley, man, you better stop with all the misconception. Stop with all the misconception about this Crawford Canelo. Man, I'm here to tell y'all, Crawford ain't getting knocked out. He ain't getting knocked out. Look, where the evidence is supporting that? Where is the evidence supporting that? Just because y'all think he light in the ass, y'all think that's just it? Man, y'all better do y'all research, man. Do your research. Come with some evidence. I'm about to let y'all know right now. Shit, just pay attention. If Skull, right, can hold Canelo to 152 punches thrown in an entire 12-round fight, 152 punches. You don't think Crawford can? You don't think Crawford can? You don't think Crawford can go the distance with Canelo Alvarez? If William Skull can go 12 rounds with him and keep him at an all-time low, 152 punches a round. Oh my goodness. If Charlo, 154 pounder, can go up to 168 pounds. Respect Charlo's skills, but he ain't got Crawford skills. If he can go 12 rounds with Canelo Alvarez, you don't think Crawford can go 12 rounds with him?
Bradley reinforces his argument by pointing to Canelo's recent struggles. He recalls how William Skull, a relatively unknown opponent, went the distance and exposed weaknesses. If Skull could disrupt Canelo's rhythm, Bradley argues, then Crawford, an elite technician, should achieve even greater success. He stresses that Crawford is not just skilled, but widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound boxer in the world. That distinction matters, as it reflects universal acknowledgement of his dominance. Bradley's point is clear. The aura of invincibility around Canelo can be broken, and Crawford has the tools to do it decisively.
Around at these big weights, but the fact is, his fight night weight was 169 let's just call it 170 pounds, which is huge, absolutely huge for a 154 pounder. Especially, it's just shocked me that he's come up from 135 and now he's still putting on that much weight. He's rehydrating that much at 154. And indeed, to bring us even closer to the modern day, the thing that was posted, and again, this is the second time we've seen this, is why I'm kind of thinking there's a bit of a theme here with Crawford posting his weight when he's not actually in full training camp. On February the 9th, 2025, he posted an Instagram story and he showed himself weighing 186 pounds on a gym scale. Now, that's so much bigger than I imagined Crawford would be. I never thought this guy would walk around 186 pounds, which for anyone who needs the conversion is just over 84 kilograms. And now look, it's not an unthinkable weight for someone, but for someone who has fought as low as Crawford has, who is generally as lean and as in shape as Crawford is,